Welcome back to Belmont Bunch, where the New York Islanders have handed the Philadelphia Flyers their 13th consecutive loss and third in 9 days. So, for the fans who have any hope left for the playoffs, good job, right? They did everything they could against the bad teams. Now it'd be nice if they can not go 2-10-3 against the good teams. So, take the positives out of this one. It was a fun one. I had a very long work day, so that was welcomed. I almost didn't think I was going to do a recap tonight because I was so tired. But this one, despite finishing great, started off kind of not so great for the Isles. But first, credit to Keith Yandle for having the new Ironman record, most games, 965. He's got Kessel right behind him, so he's got to keep going. So that was pretty cool. In the pregame, seeing Chara go up to him, and at first Yandle was like, what the hell? Oh, hey. So that was a thing that happened. Game starts off within 2 minutes. Isles are behind on a really inexcusable goal from Ilya Sorokin. Sorokin's been amazing this year. He's been really, really good. And I think I even saw on one of the player cards that goes around on the internet on analytics Twitter that his high danger save percentage was one of the best in the league. So this was a low danger chance that went in. Shot basically from the boards almost along the goal line, and Sorokin just statuesque standing there as the puck hits him and goes in. I have him in fantasy. I benched Robin Lehner's shutout last night. I'm not having a good time from that perspective, but 1-0 there. The Islanders had gotten a chance before that goal inside the first minute when Casey Cizikas won a puck battle down below the goal line, threw it back out to a wide-open Matt Martin, who missed the net by 5 feet. So that's how that started. So 1-0 there. The Islanders slowly getting into the game. Give up a second slapper from Justin Braun. A little bit of traffic in front. And it's 2-0. And I'm already turning to my brother and like, we don't score very often. This is going to be trouble. And the Isles actually responded really well. Noah Dobson getting the goal that gets us back in it. Something of note on this play was a great screen by Oliver Wahlstrom, obviously someone who's kind of been in the coach's doghouse. And so very cool to see him do something that's not usually part of his repertoire on offense. So at that point, I'm thinking, I hope Barry saw that. That's good. We're going places, kid. And it is 2-1. And Dobson, offensively, is having a very nice year. We'll get to the defensive part soon. But Anders Lee would level the game a few minutes later. Matt Barzal, a good bit of speed and strength because he almost gets pulled down. Keeps going, keeps his legs moving. 2-on-1. Anders Lee finishes it. Obviously, Barzal with a great effort to basically make the whole play happen. But I noticed something about Anders Lee, which is he's so good at these one-timers straight off of a saucer. And that's something that's not easy. So I don't know how NHLers make it look so easy. And Anders Lee seems to always roof that. I recall a couple times against the Flyers in the playoffs a couple years ago where he did that. So awesome. Lee, we need goals from everyone. Anders Lee, among the leading goal scorers for us. Nice to see him get one. And it's 2-2 after one. So a very interesting period. I think they said on the broadcast the first time all year we scored 2 in the first period. Nice. That's not great. But second period, Islanders get a power play. They got a couple of power plays. Islanders did a good job of mostly being disciplined in this game, not taking a lot of penalties. They did get the benefit of a couple of weird calls. Maybe some bad rules, one of them. One of them was goaltender interference where it was I don't know what that guy's supposed to do. He's trying to escape on the net. Sorokin, decided to turn right when he was coming in. I don't know. That feels like incidental contact. Islanders get a power play out of that. Don't score on that one. And the one that the Islanders eventually score on was a delay of game where the puck was batted out of midair in the Flyers' own defensive zone for a delay of game penalty. And I feel like that should be the exception. If you're able to bat the puck out of the air like that, straight out of play, and it's, because the meaning of the rule was to make it so that you can't just throw it out of play if you're in trouble. I feel like you deserve no penalty at that point if you just are able to, bat that out of play. because I think there's a lot of skill involved in that rather than just flipping it. And it's also obviously not on purpose there. So hey, it's a weird quirk of the rule. And the Islanders cash in. It was a nice bit of the first couple power plays were really bad, and I thought Wahlstrom coming back into the lineup would help. And early on, it did not. But on this goal, some great work around the corners. Eventually gets down low to Parise, who had a great game. Someone that maybe I hope to talk about more this year, and I probably should have talked about more in the first half. But he works really hard every night, and you just feel bad that he hasn't been on the score sheet more. But tonight, he cashes in, and he puts a great pass through the paint to Matt Barzal, who just roofs one, gets the celly, and then points to the rafters. Very cool for, obviously Clark Gillies, in everybody's thoughts recently. So that was very, very cool to have that moment. 3-2 there, and that's it for 2. And going into the third, you're pretty excited. You've got a team that might be down on themselves, having lost 12 in a row, and they were up 2-0. That's another thing about that Sorokin goal. You gave them hope right off the bat, but the Islanders come out really bad, and the Flyers get that tying goal pretty quickly. And of course, it's by someone no one's ever heard of, Jerry Mayhew, also known as Connor McDavid on this play, just carrying the puck behind the net. And Dobson, it started with a lost puck battle by Brock Nelson, but quickly escalated when Noah Dobson just went idle, went like controller shut off, and just skated at Mayhew. As pointed out in the broadcast by Butch, which was a good call. You'd much rather usher him behind the net than skate, like kind of cutting off the angle behind the net and forcing him inside where he can take a shot. This one's not really on Sorokin. This is just a rip from like 2 feet out. So bad defensive breakdown, and it's 3-3. And we had a penalty midway through the period. Matt Martin took a penalty, and all of a sudden it's feeling like, oh, God, are we going to find a way to lose this game? And no, good penalty kill, very good penalty kill. And Clutterbuck and Cizikas were excellent on it. And the Islanders survived that with not too much worry. And they get a counter late in the game. Unbelievable play. First of all, it's a 2-on-1 going one way off of the Islanders, kind of giving it away in the offensive zone. And it is well broken up by Robin Salo. Bo was trying to get back. It looked like they weren't quite on the same page of who gets shooter, who gets player. But thankfully, the Flyer player that was in on that, mini sort of breakaway, odd man rush, went to the net. Salo gets it out, clears it to the side, and now we're going the other way. And Brock Nelson with an excellent play. It looks like he's got no help. He's one guy versus like 2 or 3. He does a good job, takes it to the outside, kind of draws the defense to the right, and opens up space for first a little drop pass to Anthony Beauvillier. Now it's a 2-on-1 because Brock's taking one guy out, and Bo slips it across and just roofed toy department, from Zach Parise. And the Islanders survive to get a little bit lucky in the last minute or the last few seconds where it looked like an icing from Anders Lee. Probably didn't really affect the outcome. There might have been one more there would have been one more face-off in the Islanders zone, but very little time left. So who knows? I mean, the Flyers probably had a legitimate grievance with that call, but the Islanders, they survive. For the Flyers, that's got to be just a kick in the face to get that close, because obviously I watched their game last night. I was watching a lot of hockey last night, and their game last night was lifeless. It was a terrible game, and their one goal was the super fluky goal. So for the Flyers right now, it's just got to feel like banging your head against the wall. For the Islanders, it's slightly better. They're back over NHL 500, and they could pretend at least that they're still in it for a little bit longer. But like I said, even from my perspective of thinking they're pretty much done, the other teams are way too far ahead, and the Islanders haven't shown it against good teams. I still want them to win. I don't think they're bad enough to bottom out for Shane Wright territory. So I kind of just want them to prove at least, who should stick around and, just retool in the offseason, because I do think they're still not that far off. But Every video is kind of turning into Tom's little corner at the end, but that's my whole thing. All right. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Belmont Bunch. If you look in the description, you can see the link to the audio version of this in case you didn't want to see my face, which tonight was a good idea. So Spotify, Apple Plus, the things I always say. All right, we will see you next time on Belmont Bunch. Goodbye.